Bizarre Brain Comics. Oh, okay. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, this time, I thought I'd take another look at some more, the novel, trade paperbacks. From my collection, some graphic novels and collections and the like from my collection. From the bookshelves out in the garage. A lot of stuff out there. But first part of that is what came in the mail yesterday, arrived just yesterday, is volume 1 of The Savage Hawkman. And this is from 2012, reprinting the first 8 issues of this Hawkman run. I know nothing about it. I have not read any of these before. And of course, you can see this is by no means a new copy. This is actually discarded library edition from Washington County Cooperative Libraries. I don't know what Washington County. There's a Washington County here, but I don't think it's that Washington County. And it says Tony S. Daniels, Philip Tan, and James Bonney are the creators, and I don't know anything about that. But it has some nice artwork in it, though. Then something that I just haven't got down to show you. I meant to show you in a previous one. This is a reprint volume, trade paperback of Mort Todd's Monsters Attack, and I got this a couple of months ago. I ordered it online, and it was I was looking for something from any collections of Cracked magazine, and that's what I thought this was. I didn't realize, and then after I got it, I recognized what it was, because for about 2 years or so in the 90s, the publishers of Cracked magazine published a horror magazine. Comic magazine, all written by Mort Todd, who is one of the editors and writers for Cracked magazine. And it says a lot of great creators in it. So Pat Boyette, Gene Colan, Steve Ditko, Gray Morrow, John Severin, Alex Toth, and more. Has some really nice stuff. And of course, it's not all comics, because they also had articles and stuff in there as well. Here, John Severin. And this is come on, I can't get it open. Here it is. Some nice Pat Boyette art. At this time, you didn't see much in the way of Pat Boyette, and this is all pencils too. All pencils, no inks. And of course, since it has a humorous cover, I thought it was under Cracked when I looked it up, and I thought it was reprinting monster parodies or horror parodies from Cracked magazine, but that's not what it was. But then when I got it, and especially here on the back, and it shows the cover, it shows the original covers, and then I remembered, because I remember getting some of these. And here's like one of the interior articles about Mars attacks and the invasion begins. Not the movie, the cards. And stuff like that. That's a really nice one. And now we'll get to what I actually intended for this one. Here we have from 1989, but materials from the 1950s. Fighting American by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. Some of the classic Kirby art, bright colors and stuff, and a lot of action. And of course, this is before his style had developed into what we think primarily as Kirby stuff. This is his earlier stylization style. But one thing about this is, of course, they created Captain America, but and this is kind of a swipe of that. But except for one important thing, he's got his partner Speed Boy, which is like Captain America and Bucky. But this was done more tongue in cheek. So they have sillier stories, which kind of fits with the 50s. Then here we go, Will Eisner's A Life Force, another hardback graphic novel. Of course, Will Eisner, master storyteller, comics storyteller, and he did so much. Of course, he's best known for his creation of the Spirit, but he did so much, and in the 80s and stuff, he did a lot of graphic novels. Another time I showed one of them, and especially known for his visual storytelling and his pacing, as well as his stylization. And he co-created stuff like Black Hawk, and did so many other cool things in the 30s and 40s. And this is a graphic novel set in New York, in the slums of New York City during the Depression of the 1930s. And it's been decades since I've read any of these things. So then we go to something a little different, is Winging It. This is volume 1 of 2. Part 1 of 2. I don't remember if I have 2 or not. I wasn't there. I don't remember. It's by Roberta Gregory, and she is an underground artist, very feminist, and mostly a lot of lesbian stuff. But this has nothing to do with lesbian stuff at all. This is like a fantasy graphic novel. It has angels, demons, and aliens in it, as well as some, just some unusual things. And it's been ages since I've read it, but I remember it being really good. It was also, if I remember correctly, initially published as in floppy comic form before being printed here. So I'm not sure if I have number 2 or not. I don't know. Then we have Dazzler, the movie, the graphic novel. This is beautiful Bill Sienkiewicz cover, and here's the drawing that's on the back. This is when Dazzler was popular in the 80s, and has art by Jack Springer and Ernie Vince Coletta. I could not remember his name for some reason. It just flew out of my head. As many times as I mentioned Vince Coletta, and I suddenly could not think of his name. Yeah, Vinnie Coletta. And actually, this is one time when I think his inks actually help on the Jack Springer pencils. It makes the stuff more lovely. And of course, Dazzler is one of the X people. Then here we have Junk Waffle by Von Baudet. This is a collection of this is volume 2, a collection, and I've shown a little bit of Von Baudet's Junk Waffle and stuff before. And this just a collection of his cartoons, from some of his war stuff to various other things, mostly starring his lizards. There's part that was prose. Get past the prose. There you can, yeah. It's his lizard soldiers and stuff, making comments about the Vietnam War, etc. He was an underground comic cartoonist. He often has a lot of sex stuff in there, but he was classic. Some beautiful stuff. I love his work. Then we go to Dory Sida. Dory Stories, by reprinting the work of the late Dory Sida, who she died from, I think it was complications due to pneumonia in around 87, 88, something like that. And that's about the time this was published. And she was a frequent contributor to Weirdo magazine from Crum and Elaine Kaminsky. And she has a photo of her on the back cover. Well, I'll risk it. I have to cover up because she is nude. But you can see Dory there. And her stuff has a lot of, see, and it has stuff about her articles, shows some of her paintings, and here's a self-portrait that she did, and some, where is it? Some of her paintings and some of her sculptures. So she was a more rounded artist. As well as, is this something no, I can't show that one. No, I can't show that one. Can't show that one. Can't show that one. Can't show that one. I think I can show you this one so you can get an idea of her artwork if you're unfamiliar with her. And I just loved her stuff. Then we go to a completely different change. This is from Titan Books. It's British. Is Ian Fleming's James Bond. This is a comic adaptation of Casino Royale. And this is from the comic strip. James Bond comic strip. And I didn't realize but this was all UK. This book publisher, they have a whole string of books reprinting the James Bond comic strip, which adapted most but not all of the Ian Fleming's Bond stories. This is from the 60s. And then had a whole bunch of original material. But they it has a list of all of them in here. And they even adapted one of the, for the comic strip, a novel not by Ian Fleming for the comic strip. I think that was the first, it was Colonel's Son. I think that was the first non-Fleming Bond book. I used to have that. I might still have it. I never did get it read. I got into it and distracted. Because there are a lot of books, even though I really want to read them, I wind up not finishing. And then go back to reread it years later. That's nice stuff. And then we're going to finish it up here with this. See that? The graphic novel of Michael Moorcock's The Jewel in the Skull. It's all black and white. As a number one in the Hawkmoon series by Michael Moorcock, adapted by James Cawthorne. This is wordy and kind of difficult to read, but some beautiful black and white artwork, as well as, of course, the beautiful cover artwork. See, and it has it kind of looks like the artwork has kind of a strong Hal Foster influence in both the storytelling and art style. You know, like Prince Valiant. And so that's the whole shebang this time for my little bit of little world of comic book trade paperbacks, graphic novels, etc. So I want to thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe, and do leave a comment. What of these books have you seen? Have you read any of that stuff? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.